This
Also there.
conference will
So
now
let's
be
get
recorded.
started. So Bhaskar, sorry, we'll start with Venkat. Venkat, can you give me a brief introduction of yours because there was some. I know you have done it uh, two times, but yeah.
So actually, I'm an developer and I have total 9 years of experience around and working with Deloitte. So I would like to learn SAP Fiori. So that is what I'm telling. And
Oh, okay,
Other
okay.
than ABAP,
Thank
I also worked on SAP HR ABAP and WebImpro.
Okay, HR, BAP, and WebDim Pro. Okay, that's good. Okay, and Bhaskar, what about you?
Uh, yes, Abhinav. Abhinay,
Yeah, this is Abhinav.
Abhinav, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Bhaskar. How are you?
Good, good, thanks. Uh, I have 19 years of experience in SAP ABAP. I have been working as an ABAP developer in South Africa.
Okay, you said 19, 19.
Yes, 19.
Okay, okay, okay. All in ABAP?
Yes, it's all in ABAP.
Okay, okay. Okay, so thank you for that. About myself, I'm Abhinav and I'm having close to 18 years of SAP experience. I started my career in NetWeaver platform, Webdin Pro and the Java background. I certified in SAP as well as in Java. Then gradually moved towards S4 HANA environments, and then in BTP environments. So I've seen a lot of transformation of SAP from on-prem to the cloud environment. As per my role, I'm mostly responsible for architecting the solutions, overseeing the teams who deliver these solutions for the clients. And some of the major projects that I worked on here are latest I worked upon is the cloud adaptation of SAP, legacy SAP applications. Right. So that is more about myself, and I understand that you are interested in the Fiori about Fiori training. So what we will be doing is in next uh, 30 minutes or so, we will be discussing more about the course and how we can leverage this course and what are the course content, right? How it can be beneficial for you, and if there are any questions, we can talk about that as well, right? Now, for that, let me first share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Uh, so this is more about the Fiori course, right? So the course is divided into two parts. One is for beginners, like who are not having much of experience, okay, of SAP UI5 and all of the stuff, right? The UI side of applications, right? So this particular course is identified or recommended for those resources, more like a fresher course for the Fiori development side. Then we have Fiori development course, where which is for the advanced uh, target group. Okay, so this is here the prerequisite is your SAP UI5. Now, based upon your introduction, I think you are more looking into the beginner's course, right? Is that a fair understanding, fair assumption?
Yes, Abhi. So looking for a beginner course from Fiori and SAP UI.
Yeah. Okay. And Bhaskar, you?
Abhinav, it means once we completed this beginner's course, we can't work directly. Am I right? We have to take the other course, advanced course also. Then
Uh,
only I can work in the projects. Am I right?
not Not always. If I say this is like the key takeaway of any of these courses is to make you comfortable with the Fiori applications, right? And every product has its own requirements. So what this particular course offers you is a fair understanding of Fiori and its application onto the project, right? So let's say if a person goes with a beginner's course because he doesn't have any idea about Fiori, he doesn't worked on to the UI applications earlier, because Fiori is more about UI, user experience, right? So you need to be very much comfortable with designing UI applications first from the conceptual level, and then you need to apply those concepts within the Fiori technical domain, right? Now, what offers in the Fiori Advanced is where you are doing an entire architect of entire designing of the solution, right? So it includes more, it will have a more focus on some of the key things. Let's say if you want to integrate it with workflows, right? What are the challenges you could face? Now, integration we are covering up with the basic part also, right? In the basic also, we will be covering integration with the workflows, but the focus is on more onto the how to things, like how you can do the basic configuration and how you can make it work in ideal world, right? Then in the Fiori advanced courses, we will again focus on to the same integration concept, but we will look into a new lens, right? Where we will talk more about the troubleshooting, what could be the possible problems you can face, okay? What are the different landscape requirements that you can address based upon these things. Another example could be, you can say in basic as well, we are covering up mobility, Fiori mobile applications, right? So will be covering up Fiori basic, Fiori mobility. But in advanced
But
course, you
now I
will
can hear
see,
you. Yes.
yeah, sorry.
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
It,
I
it,
don't know what you missed because I was speaking for last 5 minutes.
yes, it was broken. I don't know where the problem is, from your end or my end. I don't know.
It was fine for us,
uh,
Bhaskar.
Bhaskar, you able to hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, okay. Venkat?
Yes, yes, no issues.
Okay. Okay. So, Bhaskar, maybe you can just give me what you heard last time, and I can start from there.
No, you are explaining me what's the difference between this basic course and advanced course. There is a differences. The advanced course includes the workflow configuration, and you are saying something
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
that one.
So what I'm saying is see, I think the question was, do you need both the courses, okay, to be project ready?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
That was the main objective or main question, right? And how then I was saying is that it is not always the case, because if once you have the basic foundation ready, you can, depending upon the project requirement, you can always learn new things. And I have seen some people who have done some kind of already work onto the Fiori application, they prefer onto the advanced course, skipping entirely the beginner's course. But most of the freshers, most of the experienced guys who are new into the Fiori world, they prefer beginner's course and they avoid advanced course also, okay, at least on the immediate basis. There are 2 or 3 cases where I have seen that people have actually uh, gone for both the courses at once. But it is entirely depends upon your needs and your priorities, right? But what should be the key takeaway of this course is that once you complete the course, you should be able to understand the Fiori principles. That is one thing. You should be able to apply that knowledge into your project deliverables, and you should be able to have a very good resource knowledge, like where to look for help and how to troubleshoot some of the basic things, right? The key takeaway of advanced course is everything that I said earlier, plus some advanced integration questions, which is more project specific or the business case specific things. Okay, just to give you an example, let's say if you want to if you want to include third party integration into the overall workflow process, right? If you want to use eventing into the Fiori application, right? So how you can do that? Again, we will be building on top of the basic knowledge itself, but focus more onto the key advanced topics so that we will have a dedicated discussion around those topics, right? So that's the reason for advanced course, the prerequisite is SAP UI5, so that at least we don't spend time onto the SAP UI5 concepts and the UI concepts and just focus on the new things. Okay.
Fine, fine. So we are covering with SAP UI5 or only basic for this course?
This beginners course will have some under means it includes, okay, let me go to the next slide. So this is the Fiori details, so you can see here what we are going to cover up at a very high level, right? Now these are the topics that will be part of your basic as well as advanced course except UI5, right? So in UI5 we will be covering up some of the basic things, right, about the common design principles, flows and all, right, initially, so that you will have a fair understanding of UI5, and then we will talk more about the Fiori basic things, which hovers around user experience, business application studio usage, what is the architecture for that. So we'll be focusing on both NetWeaver as well as S4HANA side, how you can do the Fiori configuration. So this will touch up little bit about your Fiori administration side as well. Then adaptation like the UI side as well as the personas, configurations, customization, overview of mobility, right? So how you can use clients or how Fiori can be used into the native application. So some of these things will be theoretical based and some of will have a practical or a hands-on as well. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the only difference. See, in advanced course, we will have more practicals onto some of these concepts because you need, like, let's say if you want to go for the mobility, right? So you should have that infrastructure ready for that. So that means how to ready that infrastructure. We will be doing that as well in advanced course, but not into the basic course, right? In basic course is more about first thing is what is the basic or what is the major thing that you need to do into the Fiori application, which focuses onto the UI part, plus what you can do other things with Fiori application, right? In Fiori Advanced,
Okay.
we cover up everything basic plus how you can achieve those objectives as well, right? Now, this is a style, a typical style that I normally follow. That is 30% will focus on to the theory part and 70% we focus more onto the hands-on part. Now, when I say hands-on, what it means is I'll be explaining some of the things while doing questions, sorry, while doing exercises onto the on the session itself, right? Now, this is just a typical breakdown. It could be like 60-40, it could be 80-20, depending upon the depending upon the audience adoption, right? So what are they absorbing the concept properly or not? If sometimes what happens is if they are very much have no idea about why we are doing this, right? So for that we focus more onto the concept level, and then I'll share some of the videos where they can actually uh, do the hands-on exercises by their own, all right? So it is more like consider me more like a facilitator, okay, as a mentor or as a coach, where you can look for your problems, or you can look for how we can actually achieve certain things in Fiori application. Okay, so
Abhinav, do you train me how to enhance the standard Fury apps?
yes, so this is part of your
Do you cover
adapt.
in the basic course?
Yeah, this is part of your experience, personalization, design principles, right? So this will be there. Now I'll just show you the detailed course as well. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, now I believe you are able to see the screen as well,
Yes, I can see.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so what you can see here is what we will be doing, covering up this course is, this is approximate duration. So I've seen that it normally gets over within like 25 to 30 hours, right? So we will have a 30 hours duration for this entire course, okay? And you will be seeing here is SAP UI5 overview is included. I'll just highlight uh, that part also. Like this is overview, right? And Fiori elements and this extensibility, right? So in extensibility, I think this answers your question how you can extend the standard UI Fiori applications. So we cover up both UI field and the OData extensibility for that, right? And so this is all part of my basic course. And not only this, you can how you can develop your gateway services, OData services also. That will be part, right? Now, since both of you are from the ABAP background, so we focus also onto the UI5 overview. Like you may have to invest some time onto the JavaScript as well, right? But now, good thing is SAP is now slowly moving towards the from at least from the Fiori perspective, very minimal code requirement, right? So like in I'll give you an overview, right? We'll develop some of the custom screens as well, how you can do that so that you will get a gist of it. And then what we can do is we can directly jump into the Fiori applications, right? And then we will apply that knowledge in extending my Fiori application, right? So how you can extend Fiori, there are two ways of that. One is Fiori elements. So there is a standard Fiori elements reports that you can do. With that, if you are going with the Fiori element layouts, which actually part of UI designing pattern, right? You don't require any single line of code to be written, right? But if you are going for more freestyle layout approach, then you have to write some code, right? So we will be evaluating all these things in the basic course itself, right? What is the pros, why you should not do that, right? But in advanced course, we will be discussing it in more detail. That is what I'm saying. Make sense?
Okay.
Understand, understood.
Yeah. What about the CDS views? Sometimes they create the Fury apps based on the CDS views. Can you cover that part in this course?
Yeah, so now what that CDS, we will be discussing how you can consume those CDS services, core data services, right? But CDS is as such not a part of Fiori application. That is also we need to understand, right? So if I clear some of the things, see when we talk about Fiori, what is Fiori? Fiori basically has UI element, right? Fiori has data services for consumption, right? Fiori has elements, right? Which is your what you called annotations, right? And Fiori has config, which includes your security and security and deployment, right? Personalization is also part of this. So this is basic Fiori. Now, what is CDS? CDS is your core data services, right? So you can see here in Fiori, we are using data services, but from the consumption point of view, we are not creating any data service. You getting my point? But when you are creating a data service, which is CDS, or it could be any data service, it could be your gateways, right? OData gateway, like how to create a OData service, right? So that that can be consumed in Fiori application. That is one part of it. CDS also is another part of it. And rightly said, and now what happening is because SAP is now focused more onto the Fiori elements or annotation based things. So there are certain annotations you can use to create a core data service, and those annotations can design your application itself. So that is what I said, minimal coding required, right? So we can cover up CDS, but from the consumption point of view, not how to create a CDS view for that. Make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, see, the only purpose is I want to be very transparent and clear, right? So I don't want to make any false promises that we will be covering how you can create all this stuff. So whatever is relevant for the Fiori, we'll be covering up, right? Uh, just another point, let's say third-party integration, right? Now, in actual projects, sometimes you have to integrate third-party APIs with Fiori applications. Okay, this is depending upon the project, depending upon what object you are working on, right? You may have to do that kind of thing as well. Just to give you an example, let's say you want to integrate a map in your Fiori customer application or Fiori supplier application. All right. So here also, this is integration is not as such part of the Fiori area, right? But because it is integrated, because you are using a data service, which is again part of the consumption side. So if you know how to consume a data service, it should cover up this as well from the basic point of view, right? But if for any specific point of view, let's say a Google API if you want to cover up, or Twitter APIs you want to cover up, and what are the challenges with the API to API integration, those are not part of the Fiori. That will be part of our integration area, right? Where we can actually focus on what could be the problems with the API to API integrations, what could be the problem with the app to app integration, or if we are doing a proxy integrations, right? So what could be the problem into that, how we can address those challenges, what are the best practices into that. Here we will be assuming that we are following the best practices, and this is how you can do that. Is it clear? Do you have any more
Yes, it's
questions?
clear. Do you cover the both on-premise system and as well as that sort of cloud
Yeah,
platform also?
yeah. So this we will be covering. So here in integration, these are some of the things that we will be covering. You can see here workflow we will be covering, portal also we will be covering, and BTP, which is your on cloud environment. Now call it as, now SAP is now going adopting more and more cloud things. So I can understand that this is gonna be a really interesting thing to know, right? And with S4 HANA and the cloud, there is a very interesting thing, interesting applications you can actually develop. So we will be covering, in short, yes, we will be covering a cloud integration with Fiori application as well.
Thank you. Do you start this course from HTML and
Yeah, see, this is the tailored course. So I'll be starting with basic HTML, JavaScript, right? So one session we can take it for that, right? I normally divide this session into 30 different sessions. So one session is equal to your 1 hour, all right? So one session we will be covering up all the basics of UI, server client architecture, HTML5, JavaScript, right? As well as what you call jQueries, right? CSS. These are the things, because that will be part of my SAP UI5 basic, right? So this is assumed that this course assumes that you don't have much understanding of UI5 and the basic client server technologies, because you have worked mostly into the ABAP reports, right? Or mostly developed on-premise reports. You have not worked much onto the web developments, but Venkat has some experience onto the WebIntro ABAP. So if you have a WebIntro ABAP knowledge, it's good, right, to understand all these things. Even if you don't have, you will be covering up client server, basic client server, what is a HTTP request, what is a HTTP response, all those things will be covering them up in that session, right? And after that we'll be start focusing on to the UI5, how we can create a UI5 application, right? So one or two sessions for the UI5 uh, basic, where we'll be discussing more about controls, flows, which should be straightforward, right? Because you already know one programming language, so how you can write loops, how you can deploy this application, what are the things that you should do, what are the ideas, so not ideas, sorry, IDEs available to develop these UI applications, right? And how these applications has different patterns and how you can use that. There are code snippet templates. All these we will be discussing as well. Okay. And then we will start with our Fiori design principles, and as well as we will be discussing about S4HANA standard application configuration, architectural requirements, landscape requirements, where you can actually check that, uh, how you can install an application, not how, basically, because how is generally done by the basis team, but as a Fiori developer, what are the things you need to do once the application installed. So some of the post application configurations you need to do at the technical level with along with the basis team, right? So all those things we'll be discussing as well. That will be part of your Fiori course here, right?
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir.
Okay. So any more questions?
No questions, sir. Actually, myself expecting something like from the basic UI5 development and along with CDS, and also I'm expecting something like OData development, and that OData we are consuming in Fiori. So Fiori part you are covering. So I'm looking for something like a complete UI5 development. So
Okay.
this is a somewhat Fiori, I think so. And BTP, above on BTP, so I think you are not covering, right, Abhi?
No, see, the purpose, because I came to know about that you are interested into the Fiori side, Venkat. So that's why
Mm.
I mentioned all these points. Okay, what is
Okay,
part of the Fiori course, right?
okay,
What you mentioned about the UI5 CDS or data. So there is a different course that is entirely for the
okay.
UI5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there also, so CDS, again, I have one course dedicatedly for RESTful ABAP APIs, RAP models,
Okay.
right? Which is specifically addresses your ABAP developments into the cloud as well as into S4HANA developments, which covers up
Mm-hmm.
CDS as well, right? CDS is part of your ABAP on HANA course as well,
Mm.
right? So I covered up all those things, but they're all part of different ones, right? So it's
Okay,
not like
okay.
I cannot include those courses also into this particular course, but we should also be able to understand that, okay, these are different areas, right? From business side they may not understand this, but from the technical point of view we can understand that these are the different areas. And now if I have to focus on a one particular area, I should only focus on that area first, gradually gradually develop my understanding into that area, and then gradually move to other areas, right? So I can cover up everything what you mentioned, like UI5, CDS, OData, right? But that is a different course itself. Or we can create a tailored course also,
Okay.
right? Where you can mention, okay,
Mm,
I need these point, right? That's the beauty of this instructor-led online
okay.
training, right? So where you can customize your, it means you can
Uh-huh.
tailor your course as per your requirements.
And
Okay.
so you are covering BTP, so but not BTP above, right?
BTP app is not part of Fiori.
Okay.
I have a separate training for the BTP ABAP itself,
Okay, okay.
right? See, what I can cover up, I can just give you a list. Okay,
Mhm.
some of the key things. Okay, just for the fair understanding. I have course for UI5. I have course for ABAP HANA. I have course for HANA Native. I have course for BTP Native Development, which is Cloud Application Programming. I have a course for BTP Administration. I have a course for RESTful ABAP Programming. I have a separate
Oh,
course for S4 HANA. I have a separate course for integration, as well as I have a course for Fiori application and UI5, along with
okay.
advanced customer experiences, which is your chatbot and IRPAs, robotic process automation, operations, and all. Because
Okay.
I have developed my skills over a long period of time, right? And I always update myself with a focused approach, right? So I'm not I'm not saying that we won't be able to uh, cover those topics. What I'm saying is we have a separate focus program to address those
Yeah, yeah.
specific
Separate
areas.
course. Separate course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
separate focus areas for those groups. Bhaskar, what about you?
What's the difference between this UEFI class and REST programming? What's the
Okay, see,
REST is different
UI5
and
is your
Fury.
it's a UI technology, right? So this is where you can design your applications, right?
Yes, yes,
When I say application, which is more focused onto the designing the screens, right? Let's say you
yes,
want to book a movie ticket, right? Now, in order to book a movie ticket, you need certain screens, right?
yes,
Now, you can design those screens in
yes,
traditional
yes,
SAP GUI as well using module pool,
yes, yes,
right? But does
yes, yes.
that give you a wow customer experience? Not as of now. Reason? Because now, if I only give my customers to book a movie ticket using module pool screen, right? That means I'm losing my customers. I'm losing business, right? Reason? Because now customers are more focused in multi-channel bookings, right? I should be able to book a ticket using my mobile phone. I should be able to book a ticket using a smart watch, right? So these new things requires new way of designing screens, right? So there are two parts. One is UI designing and another one is functionality. So UI5 addresses your UI designing part, okay? And BTP RESTful ABAP, which you mentioned about, is more about addressing those functional gaps, functional needs, right? So let's say if I have to book a movie ticket, so that means I need to get list of movies. First of all, I need to get the list of theaters or list of cinema halls that is available, right? Then I need to get data how much they have booked, right, from the data sources. So it requires data services which addresses those things. Now earlier, because you have very vast experience, right, so you have probably also worked on ECC5, or have you worked on ECC5 or any upgrade have done, Bhaskar?
Yeah, yes, yes. I worked on ECC 6, yes.
ECC6, okay. So I have miss from ECC6 to S4 HANA, you have probably seen a lot of changes, right? The way
Yeah,
you order.
actually, I started my career from the 4.7 EE,
Okay. So
4.6B.
that's too old systems. Those more like a museum-based
I
systems
know.
now, right?
Yes,
So
I
so
know
just think,
all
right?
the
The
systems.
way you order app or the way you order food in 2010 is entirely different and not relevant in current era, right? Means the way we order food now is entirely different than the way we were ordering food in 2010 or 2012, right? So UI5
Yes, yes.
addresses those things, right? So now you can write more cloud applications, you can write mobile based applications, right? So you need to develop application using UI5, and it can be converted into the mobile based native application as well, using some mobile
Uh,
integration principle.
Sorry, what I'm asking, in the suppose, if you are going to apply the jobs in the job portals, you can
Mhm.
see Fury, RESTful programming, RESTful web app. What's the
Right.
RESTful web app and what's the Fury? Is there any difference, or
Yeah, there
both
is
are
a
same?
difference. Yeah. See, Fury is a wider concept, right? So you can develop your Fury applications using UI5. That is one part. When I talk about Fiori, that means you should be able to install or configure standard application. That is another part, right? If you are you developing with are you working on Fiori NetWeaver application? So in NetWeaver we don't have RESTful ABAP. That is not needed, right? But in S4 HANA applications you require RESTful ABAP. Again, that is from I think 1901 version onwards. I think 1909 version onwards. Sorry. Okay. So RESTful ABAP basically is a service-based ABAP system where you can focus, you can develop your APIs using REST methodology. Okay, so it covers up
Okay.
lot of things, and when developing these services, you can actually you can develop your standard Fiori application, right? So you can still do the Fiori application without knowing UI5 applications, without knowing UI5. That is the purpose of Fiori RESTful ABAP.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. So, any more questions?
No questions from my side.
Okay. Okay. So, as a next step, what we can do is Venkat, and what I would it would be really helpful if you can just uh, share some of the immediate needs that you need. Okay, means are you looking for Fiori application? Are you looking for SAP UI5 or CDS or OData part? That is one part of it, right?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. Actually, my requirement is something like I wanted to be end-to-end development. So UI5 development and RAP development and Fury. So these three combinations I'm looking. And additionally, if possible, so maybe it is a different, and these are all different courses. Also, ABAP and BTP. This is my requirement. Abhi.
Okay, so yeah, means full stack developer. When you mentioned about full stack developer, that is itself
Yeah,
is relevant for me. Okay, so that is your goal, right?
yeah,
And
correct.
Bhaskar, what is your goal into that? You
There,
are on.
there is no specific goals from my side. Just I want to learn Fury and RESTful web app. That's all.
Okay, so basically you are more into the Fiori consultant, Fiori developer, right? That's
Yes.
the role that you are looking for, and then RESTful is different, but you want to learn about BTP RESTful as well, right? Okay, so how we can proceed is uh, so for Bhaskar, you this course is relevant. What I was discussing, right? So Fiori consultant, if you are looking for, you also need UI5 as well, right? And Venkat, for you also the basic, the full step, the first step should be the UI5 side. So we can start with UI5, right? And I'll make sure that when we are doing UI5, we'll be doing it from the Fiori perspective, not from the third party or independent application perspective. Okay, this we can do because in UI5, what is the difference between UI5 and the Fiori? Fiori leverages UI5, right? But UI5 is much wider term, and you can develop Fiori as well as non-Fiori applications using UI5. So Fiori UI5 you can actually you can create applications for even non-SAP applications, non-SAP environment as well. It is built upon Open UI5, which is an open source code as well. Okay, so I think this should be the way forward how we can approach. Okay, so think over it. Just let me know to Sai or Shovanti that how we can proceed and what are your needs, okay, and what we can actually do to address those needs. And if there are common one, I'll put you in the same batch. Otherwise, we can always have independent batches.
Abhinav, can you share me your WhatsApp number? Then we can send it to your WhatsApp.
Please forward it
Yeah, check
to us
with
and
the Sai for that.
yeah.
Okay, so contact always connect with Sai first. Any course related thing, any administration or infrastructure related requirements. Okay, um, ultimately I will get that. Okay, so if there is any training related course or anything, you can share it via Sai with me. Okay, I I normally don't give my WhatsApp numbers. Sorry for that.
No, no problem, no problem.
No issues, no issues.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. So
Okay.
if you don't have any questions, we can conclude. And all the best and happy learning.
Thank you, Abhi.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the
Take care.
session.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.